Hi there folks, welcome to the morning edition of Ping the Last.
A bit earlier than normal.
Yeah, a little bit earlier than normal for us today, but we'll get cracking. Part 2 of the Cheltenham Festival. Again, lots to cover. We'll pick some of the bigger races again, and maybe not so big on one of them. We'll have some picks from Jamie and Jacob again, so we'll get them in as well. And then we'll kick off with the RSA. We've had presenting Percy winning it, Mike Bite and Black Line.
So some good horses.
Yeah, some decent horses. Yeah. We've all got 3 picks. I'll cover them quickly now. I'm going to go OK Corral. Sean, you were going to go for Delta Work, I believe. Oh, yeah, and Neil, you're going to stick with Santini, one that you've backed before. But we'll start with you, Sean. Far away.
Yeah, Delta Work. Again, form over in Ireland has been three starts, 3 wins so far.
Yep.
Ferry House, Leopardstown and Royal, I believe. Obviously has beaten Le Richburg so far, so form going into it, you know, has been enhanced on that one. Last victory, I think, was like a Gigginstown 1-2-3. Him coming obviously in first, but a very good jumper, very sound horse. Seems like he'll stay any sort of distance at the moment. Still quite not novice-y, but they're trying to work out where to go. And with Santini not performing so far, I think the race is there for Delta Work to lose. Personally, I know I always stick with the Irish when it comes to the festival. A lot of mine in those will be from that side of the water, but I just don't think Santini will be the horse we thought. I know you're not going to agree with that.
I am going to take massive exception to that.
I know that.
Well, we'll go on to you with
yeah. So I genuinely, I do think that Delta Work has definitely got it. Could jump him into submission, because I believe Santini's problem last time around was jumping wasn't kind of setting back a bit. See, whereas Delta Work doesn't seem to have too much of an issue in that form. Santini has got the pace. Will he be there near the end to, you know, put that into practice? I don't think so.
It's an interesting one. This I've got a few statistics written down here for a few different reasons.
Love a stat, don't you?
Yeah. So, but you're going to give him a chance to reply?
Well, he can.
Right, so we'll move on to Neil then.
To be honest, as I say, he was third last time out. I don't think he did an awful lot wrong. Le Bagoire obviously run that race, and we know what she's done since then. Top of the game was in second, but Santini was only sort of 2 lengths off of the winner. You know, that day. And as you said, jumping wasn't fantastic. Le Bagoire was faultless, and she had £7 over him as well.
So to be fair, you've got to say that was a reasonable effort.
Yeah, I mean, 2 lengths down. If you've not had your best performance, I think Nicky said that. I think Nicky said that there's still more to come from this horse. I honestly think that Santini will bolt up in this race and then go on to Gold Cup next year.
Beating OK Corral, my choice as well. Before.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, you can say third last time if you just look at third and think, you know, that's not a great preparation.
But the form has been franked on that as well.
To be 2 lengths down and then to see what Le Bagoire's done since then, with £7 in her favour as well. I just think Santini will outstay pretty much everything that's in that race.
He's been fairly consistent. I mean, he might not have won, but he's been fairly
not done an
consistent.
awful lot wrong. As I say,
in his last 6.
When we watched him in the festival last year, I was quite critical of the way he was ridden. He was held up too far behind. I think Nico.
It did seem to be that way.
Nico admitted that was wasn't the ideal situation and stayed on really well going up the hill. So again, I think with a more prominent ride, I just think this horse will outstay everything that's in that field, and next year go on be a Gold Cup contender.
Well, he managed to stay ahead of Bags Grove as well in that race.
Who's running
who at that time was looking for a quadruple, like 4th win at the time. So again, I think you have to look at that as well and say, well, you know.
Well, as I say, we're filming now. Bags Groove runs today. He's joint favourite, I think, with the Nichols horse. But of course, you know, being a Saturday, Nichols horse is always going to be there or thereabouts. We'd expect. If Bags Groove goes on and bolts up today, then that's another stamp in the form book.
So, absolutely.
Let's see what happens.
Well, so my choice was OK Corral. You get quite a good price at the moment. It has been 8 to 10, something like that.
We'll get 10 at the minute.
Yeah.
Good winner last time out, though.
Has finished behind Santini last year. Seems to have got his act together in his last couple of races. And he was second in the Albert Bartlett novice at Cheltenham previously.
So he's got course.
Yeah,
he can run the course.
Yeah, decent couple of warm-up runs as well.
Believe it, and big Santini get that as well. But, so that's what I say. You know, there's some interesting like connotations or permutations, whatever. Yeah, for all the choices really. I think, you know what I mean. It's one of them, you know.
Yeah, my only thing with OK Corral would be the fields that he's won in his last two. I think there's a couple of warm-up races at Warwick.
Yeah, they haven't been.
I grant you they weren't, but you know, the strongest of races.
So it's a stronger race, but again, I wouldn't be here to put off anyone. As I say, I've gone for the favourite on the back of the third, but you know, we'll explain the reasons for that anyway. So.
Well, as you say, with the 3 previous winners we mentioned, you know what I mean, they've gone on to
bigger and better things.
So
yeah, might work.
Yeah, well, steady on.
Don't start with that. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, let's give you Jamie's choice. Jamie's sticking with one of these ones to watch, Chris's Dream. 14 to 1 each way. I bet actually on Chris's Dream the other day and won a race over in Ireland very well.
Yeah. Stepping up in trip for this.
Yeah.
But I believe Jamie doesn't feel that's going to be much of a problem.
No. He says he thinks he's improved from the Bartlett last year.
Yeah.
He looks more comfortable over the bigger fences.
And should stay.
Got the experience at Cheltenham. And he thinks 3 mile will actually be a help, not a hindrance.
Yeah, Henry de Bromhead did say 3 miles would be ideal.
Yeah, for as I say, I mean, I backed him the other day over in Ireland, and you know, it's one of the races where not a lot happened per se. Do you know what I mean?
It was a small field as well.
Yeah, it wasn't the biggest field, so not a lot happened. But they just decided to, I think, slightly change tack with what they did, and they just positioned him in time to strike, basically, which is, happens for a lot of them.
And it worked.
Yeah, and it worked, and he got his head in front, and he certainly looked to be of the pack. He seemed to be the one that had more in the tank. So you can see where Jamie's coming from on that one, and at 14s. Each way, I don't think it's a bad shout at all, personally.
Not at all.
I'm a little bit annoyed I didn't spot it myself, to be fair, but you know, like I say, we pick these horses out. There's always other ones on the day. Of course, you know what? That's not a bad bet. So,
of course.
Likewise, don't just pigeonhole yourself. You know what I mean? Wait and see what sort of takes you on the day as well. Okay, so that's Jamie's. Jacob is going for Santini.
Did you talk about?
Well, we're in touch, but he's a tipster, so I'll live with that.
From what I'm sort of gauging what he's saying, I mean, he sees it really as a three-horse race between Santini, top of the game, and Delta Work.
He said in the top half.
Yeah, he believes that those are the three. I think a bit like what you were just saying. Anyway, I think he believes Santini will possibly just be able to outstay the other two.
Yeah.
You know, in the big picture sort of thing.
That's what will be the thing for me. It'll be in the running and who stays best. And Santini's best equipped to do that. So.
Okay, fair enough. Right, that brings us on to the cross country then. I think we know pretty much up and down the country what most people's choices will be. Certainly what Sean's will be. Last year's winner Tiger Roll. Course of Causes won it before that, and Josie's Orders has also got an entry. Won it in 2016. Well, me and you, Sean, we've both gone for Tiger Roll.
Can't not.
Yeah, to be honest, it was just a bit of a case of can't not.
Yeah, there's no value in it. We're not tipsters, but this horse I tipped up last year for the cross country and not tipped up. I fancied for the cross country and the national. I've done the exact same again. I've done the exact same double foot again. Already gone on for that, and he's a brilliant little horse. Love him. Yeah.
You've gone for.
No, I was gonna mention, like I say, when we were discussing in the week, I was gonna have a look just for a little bit of value. I was gonna look at a Cello Conti, but obviously that's Gordon's horse as well. And given what Tiger Roll did in the week, 40 to 1, 25 to 1, and
over hurdles,
over hurdles on the bridle. I just think Uccello Conti will probably go for the Fox Hunters now instead. It just makes no sense to pair them up, and so. I'm going to be a bit boring. I've got nothing else really to offer you. I could make a sniff for Josie's Orders, purely on reputation, and turns up for this race year in, year out, and always puts a shift in. But I think everything's going to be hard pressed to beat Tiger Roll.
Honest. I mean, it's. I think it's his to lose. I mean, I think you said it amazing. We know how things change. And how many times we get surprised along the way, but.
It's just a great little story because it's not the biggest of horses, but with the biggest of hearts.
Yeah,
absolutely. Do you know when you see that from the national last year, from this race last year, it just doesn't know when to quit. It has that many clouds mentality. Never beaten. It doesn't matter how fast someone's hit. It's a horse that doesn't feel like he's ever beaten.
I think you can, if you look back at his statistics, you can certainly see that he's definitely getting better. If you know what I mean, like look at his early sort of form in like 2000 and like I think he's 16, 17. He's not blistering by any means. You know what I mean? He's performed well enough, but I certainly think if you look back at the statistics, the last couple of years, he's gathering
he's in good hands.
He's
in good hands. I'd say if I was looking again for a little bit of value, I might mention my hometown for Ender Bolger. Actually beat Josie's Orders recently as well. So
he does love a cross country. Doesn't
he?
So.
16, 18 to 1 in
places
for a little bit of
course.
So and obviously Ender Bolger does love the race. So each way sniff at 16 was my hometown.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so we'll move on to Jamie's choice. Jamie looking at the sort of each way again, as he likes to try and do. Jamie has gone for Josie's Order. Bags of experience, you know, he's won there before.
Oh yeah.
As he says, an each way it must have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know a lot about Josie's Orders from the cross country, then you haven't been watching racing for the last 5 years in that respect. That's where he aims that horse.
It does seem to be because he always had how do you pronounce it? Arvenal or Arvenal? Alvin, sorry, and sort of Josie seems to be maybe the natural replacement for that horse because obviously he's getting on a bit now.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's 100%.
But I think you'll see those silks there or thereabouts at the end as you always do.
Yeah, it'd be very surprising if it isn't. Yeah,
when they turn that corner, go over the last piece, they're usually there or thereabouts.
Whether Josie's quite good enough to beat Tiger Roll, you know, on top form.
It's an age thing as well, isn't it?
Like this year at the start, but then again Tiger Roll was carrying a stone more up the hill for a smaller horse, so you can't really take that form into it. And then he goes and turns around and runs 2.5 over hurdles and wins at.
Whoever decided Corral's at 40 to 1 last week. Wow.
Yeah.
Just wow.
Yeah, so we had a great Sunday.
That's why I love bookmakers, really. But anyway, moving on.
So Jacob has again reiterated a lot of what we said. You know, Tiger Roll's the obvious choice. Has tried to, like I say, mix it up a little bit. He's tentatively sort of gone for facts of the matter. He just says, you know, likes the course. Again, plenty of experience. You know, off a low weight and handicaps there last time. And just believes at 14 to 1 it's a bit high.
He's also got, obviously, as we were discussing beforehand, an entry for the National as well.
Yeah.
So it could be a good prep run if he runs. If he exceeds his 14s or 16s to 1s that he was saying, then you know you could see him doing well in the National as well. So it's a mini prep run in some respects.
It's definitely an interesting chat.
And again, at my hometown and Josie's Orders back in 2nd and 3rd at Cheltenham when he won last time out. So I think this race has been the plan. Yeah.
Okay, right, we'll move on again then. That brings us on to the Champion Bumper, which won by Relegate. How do you pronounce this next one, Neil?
Fayona.
And Ballyandy, sorry.
Love the Ballies.
Yeah. So, we've obviously, Relegate's done quite well for himself. And sadly, we lost the other one.
Yes.
Obviously, one of the many Ballies out there, as you say.
There are a few.
Yeah. Neil, you've gone for that Andy Dufresne.
I have.
Sean, you picked out Mullins, no real surprise there. Blue Sari. And I've gone for Envoy Allen. So let's give us your reasons then, Neil.
I can't take too much credit for this. As I was discussing this with Danny Sweeting, who people have watched is the brother-in-law. Myself and Sean are practically related. Obviously, we spent a lot of time. Spent a lot of time out and about, and when it came to sort of finding a wife, we stumbled across the first house we could find. Unfortunately, there were sisters in it, so the rest is winning. The rest is history. But no, it's Gordon Elliott trained horse, bought for 215 grand out of a point field after it's run at Down Royal recently, and won its bumper by some 10 lengths a couple of weeks back, and before that was 25 to 1 for this particular race. And Dan was told pretty much that it's not going to be after that. I don't think the 10 lengths was the expectation, but it's obviously a very decent time. So it's now gone straight in 6, 7 to 1 in some places. So yeah, fingers crossed, things can happen, but fingers crossed if it runs its race on the day. Gordon Elliott seems to be quite sweet on this and could potentially go on to much better things. So again, I'm taking credit from someone else, but that's what we do. We like to get the information.
You know, and if he, like you say, if he's sending something a bit green like that to the festival, then it's got to be something in that, surely.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
well, what they saw from, as I say, the run at Down Royal, straight in. Yeah, we'll have that, and yeah, it should go on to better things. Fingers crossed, all being
well. As you say, you know, what I mean, given who's got it, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's in good hands, that's for sure.
Massively.
You know, you're not known for buying a dupper, really, is
yes,
it?
no, as I say, trained by Gordon Elliott is the McManus Silk, so again, familiar colours going around the course, and yeah, that's for me.
No worries. Sean, Blue Sari.
Yeah, again, no surprise. Mullins horse for me. It's the champion bumper that we picked this year to do because we've obviously races that day. We've obviously Altior is a foregone. We talk about the bigger races. It's a champion bumper seems like one for value, doesn't it? Really, you know, and
it's the value, and it's hoping you can find something that comes out of this race to go on, as we said, the better things.
Exactly, like you say, it's a champion bumper, so they're all quite green, quite novice-y in that sort of respect. Blue Saris have 1 run for Mullins, 1 win. Take from that what you will. They seem to be quite keen on it. Like you say, it's the sort of race where, you know, Relegate last year at 25s. If you go back, he's always in the placings with a champion bumper. I think it's the last 4 or 5 years he's had something of high value. So he kind of does target certain horses for this race. He's got a few in that, I believe, but Blue Star is the one that fires that stood out to me. Again, quite low in the betting in some respects for what the champion bumper is. But yeah, for me, I'm going on pure blind faith on Mullins on this one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you know, as you say, you know, with the champion bumper, it's a bit hard not to, really, isn't it? In a way, you are.
Like I say, 1 run, 1 win. You can't take a lot from that. It wasn't the most competitive of races, but the job was done.
It's a difficult one because most of these, because of their years, will have ones next to their name. They've all done nothing wrong so far because they're in good hands. So you'll find a lot for Gordon Elliott. He's got Envoy Allen in there as well. He's done nothing wrong. Andy Dufresne, you've got Tom Lacey, who's got one in there with a 1 by his name. But that's the thing, you'll find a gem potentially from this.
As I say, you know, I mean, like for myself, you know, Envoy Allen. It's the favourite, you know what I mean? But well, it was on Bet365.
Well, it's value. It's still value because it's 4 to 1.
You know, again, won its last 3 all national hunt flat races though. 2 last year and 1 in February. So it's had a run out. But what more can you say really, other than it seems to be a useful sort? Will it get found out over the fences? We don't know. Do you know what I mean? But
that's obviously later on. So again, they're still they're still running on the flat. So it's done all its winning over in Ireland.
But 3 for 3.
But 3 for 3,
Form's there, isn't it? It's difficult to pick out horses that have got 1s by its name because there's no argument for those. Okay, they've won a race, so yes, there is an argument, but hasn't been able to back it up. Envoy Allen, if you've watched it a couple of times, it's backed it up.
Normally you can pick holes and say, look, his jumping's a little bit rusty, or this or that, the other.
Which you
is
can't.
Straight flat, and none of them have done anything wrong. So this will just be whoever's got the best turn of foot.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Right, we'll give you Jamie's choice. Jamie's picked out Santa Rosa.
There's value
25 to 1 each way.
Yeah, there's value.
There is value for you.
We can't put him off after last year.
He's only had 2 bumper races. Got Jamie giving us a sort of little report saying he travelled well throughout at Fairyhouse, tough filly. She won at 25 to 1, won by about 3.5 lengths. Second run at Leopardstown, won by the same distance. I think Cheltenham, you know, could sue her.
No real arguments. Again, there's form there, isn't there, on that horse, and it's these races. And I know before you got, because obviously Jacob touching on that as well, the way he studies the champion bumper, is probably a very good way to go about it. And with Jamie there's form, isn't there?
Absolutely. It's a hard one to pick, which is why it makes it so much fun for us to discuss, because you can't talk each other out of anything.
No, quite. So that brings us nicely on to Jacob then. What you just said there, really, Jacob sees it as quite an open race. 7 out of the 8 of the last winners all won by 6 lengths or more. That's kind of a rule, one of the rules that he looks at when looking into them. You know, for the distances won by previous winners and you know, stuff like that. He's a bit tentative, as he's, you know, as we all are really at the end of the day.
But that's why we picked it. You know, for us it's quite easy to sit there and just focus on the main races because, as we say, we're not tipsters. We are big, passionate fans. So for us to sit and pick your champion hurdle winners and your champion chase is different. Champion bumper, completely different kettle of fish.
It's not a race that defines your week. It's a race. It's a fun race to have a tenner on, and if it loses, it loses. You know, there's other races where you're going to want to make your dough, but always. But this, it's a fun race to watch, and it's nice to have a five race anyone. So.
Well, he'd say tentatively gone for Ask for Glory.
Okay.
He did give a shout as well for King Roland, which was just a 2 of the. You know, sort of slightly outsiders maybe that are on the card, and but as you say, you know, I mean, he thinks it's a bit of a tough race, and it's sort of almost like a slight sort of, as you say, needle in a map type scenario, isn't it, a little bit,
many names.
And he seems to have plumped for Ask for Glory tentatively, but so that's his choice.
There we
go. So that rounds up part 2. Obviously, you can see we've got our scarves here now that we love. I think they're fantastic.
And they're not pink.
They're definitely not pink.
Can't stress that
enough. If you looked on Twitter, you can see a couple of comments on there. But anyway, so yeah, they're available.
They are available. Yes.
Get on the website and go to the link below, and you can get yourself one.
Yes, we are pleased to say there's not loads of them left. They have been selling
which is
really well.
Good.
So,
As I say, we're a bit tentative on pre-ordering, having never dealt with the people before, so they are fantastic. We're really chuffed with them. And they're also on eBay now as well. So if you prefer to shop on eBay, you can find them on eBay. Find us on eBay. Whatever.
And that was a mini shout out to Arena Scarves there, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, really good job, cracking job with them. So, so that's that, and we'll see you again for part 3.
Yeah, keeps going.